Hi and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the WynActive Webcast. Once again, it's great to have you joining us, so thank you very much. Apologies for yesterday. We didn't get a webcast out. Things just didn't work out for us, but I know you missed us, but we're back, absolutely. So as per normal, I'd like to welcome James Robertella from Wyndham City. How are you today, James?
Yeah, great, Barry. Middle of the week, but what I'm really excited about is our Find Your 30 challenges have finished up. We had over about 370 people join in those challenges over the last weeks, and it's brilliant to hear all the great stories, the tips and tricks that people had told us about how they're keeping active. So a real shout out to everyone that's joined in, and we look forward to encouraging people to continue to find their 30, Barry, as we begin to come out of lockdown and return to somewhat of a normal our normal day to day. But really excited to have our guest on board.
Yep.
We've been keeping the focus on healthy, keeping active and healthy in the community. I think today's guest can really bring some great insight into what it means to be a resident and keeping our day-to-day house in order, Barry. So without further ado, would love to welcome Simon Crawford, the Waste and Litter Education Officer from Wyndham City. Welcome, Simon.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having me. It's always good to be able to get out and talk to new people and discuss, our waste management and how we're looking to improve that. So, thanks for having me.
I think, Simon, for me, I'm really interested for some tips and tricks about this time when there are, we're all at home and producing a lot of waste. But before we get to that, if we can we explore what you do in whatever normal is now, I don't know, but in normal times, and the environmental unit. It's a broad scope of things, but can you talk us through that, please?
Yeah, sure. So my role, as James said, is Waste and Litter Education Officer. So a big part of that is getting out into the community and talking to them about waste and litter and how we avoid it as much as possible and manage it as responsibly as we can. Also, because I'm in the waste strategy team, we look at ways that we can improve the system, so make it easier for people to recycle and advocate for companies to be doing the right things. So that's sort of my role and what my team focuses on. But like you say, our department has a broader environmental focus. So we focus a lot on sustainability, things like electricity usage, using solar panels, turn your lights off, those sorts of things, water, protecting our waterways, and also a lot on our native flora and fauna, so how we can protect our local animals and plants, and then just generally sort of your climate change messaging too, around making sure we're doing the right thing in that space. So quite a broad topic. We have quite a big team, and there's a lot of things happening, which I'm not even across at all, to be honest.
I think we would all agree, Barry, that waste and littering is bad, and we want to reduce it where possible. And the work that Simon's doing, I think, is really important. Simon, during this past few weeks and now months, I personally have seen my waste increase, as Barry has alluded to. But what are the challenges that people have experienced, and how has your work sort of adapted to meet those challenges over the past weeks and months?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously for everyone, the last few months has been a complete change in the way we operate, and in waste education, it's been no exception. Firstly, for us, we haven't been able to do that in person. We used to go into the kindergartens and schools and run sessions for them and really try to teach them in person. Now we have to do that removed online, but we're all adapting. So what we've really noticed, I guess, is in people's behaviour. Once we all started working from home, everyone decided to do the big declutter, clean out. So, all that stuff that's in the way, let's get rid of it. Thankfully, most people have done it in a responsible way, in the sense that they've called for a hard and green waste collection, and our numbers have skyrocketed for those collections. I guess what we're hoping and trying to encouraging people to do is think about, if something's still in good condition, the charity stores might be closed, but do you have family or friends or neighbours that you can say, I've got this old chair, I don't want it anymore, but it's still useful, and passing things on rather than just throwing everything out. Thankfully, our hard and green waste collection service are able to still recycle a lot of things, so it doesn't all just go to landfill, but it's certainly we encourage that reuse as much as possible. One other thing, unfortunately, I do need to mention is that we have seen illegal dumping increase as well. So people who are doing certainly the wrong thing are, down at the local park or, on the side of the road, whatever, just dumping stuff. And our teams are having to go and clean that up. But obviously that's an expense to council and ratepayers. So we really need people to understand it's important that if they do need to throw something out, just give us a call. Every house has 3 free hard waste collections each year. So just give us a call and we'll come and collect it. We don't need it to be dumped out in the public realm.
That's really disappointing, Simon. And yeah, it's unfortunate. I suppose it's a fact of life, unfortunately. But yeah, it is disappointing to hear that. But so in that sort of vein of household rubbish, what are some of the things that we can all do, no matter where we live, whatever? What can we do to sort of minimise that rubbish that we're just putting in the bin each week? And it's up to people like you and your team and teams that you're with to take away.
Yeah, it's a great question, Barry, and it's where we always start with our sort of 101. I don't know if you're familiar with the waste hierarchy. It's a bit of a lingo that we use, but a lot of people have heard of it. Basically, it's your reduce, reuse, and recycle, and that's what we always encourage. So first, it starts in the shops, or when you're buying online or whatever. Reduce the amount that you're buying. Do you need it? If you are buying something, can you buy something that can be reused, so you don't need to throw it out? Obviously, reuse sort of speaks for itself. We all know about the reusable coffee cups and shopping bags and things these days. Obviously, COVID has caused a bit of a challenge in some of those spaces. Some shops won't accept reusable coffee cups at the moment, but generally speaking, we want people to reuse as much as they possibly can. And then, of course, if you do need to dispose of something, recycle and compost as much as you can. Try to avoid putting things in your rubbish bin. Having said that, obviously, we'd rather it go in the rubbish bin than getting thrown out in the streets. So, yeah, they're the sort of basics: the reduce, reuse, and recycle.
I think those are some simple tips, and it takes me back to my school days, Simon, where I don't think it's changed too much, but it's further to that. The work that you are doing, I'm aware of. You highlighted going out to kindergartens, but yeah, who are some of the stakeholders that you work with closely within the community to keep promoting this positive message?
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone really, whoever's willing to listen to us, I guess. But schools and kindergartens are great to work with. They're always keen to get some different material for their kids and some guest speakers and things. So we're currently doing videos and some online stuff for them. The different sections of the community, obviously in Wyndham, we have a lot of people that are new, not just to Wyndham, but also to Australia. So they're not familiar with the recycling systems that we have. So trying to reach those newly arrived communities is something we really focus on. Then also just different target markets. So I'm currently doing a project around for builders in Wyndham. Due to a lot of construction, there's a lot of building always going on in Wyndham, and building waste can be a big problem with polluting our waterways. So I'm trying to work closely with our local builders to educate them on, firstly, the importance of managing their waste and looking after the environment, but then also giving them some tips and some support on how to do that, and recognising the ones that are doing the right thing. We do, have fines and things for the people that are doing the wrong thing, but we want to try to take a positive approach as well and recognise the ones that are doing the right thing.
Simon, do you have any either data or anecdotal evidence from the drivers, from from the tip or whatever about the amount of waste that has it changed since we've all gone into lockdown? I know it's easing at the moment, but yeah, are we seeing more recycling? Are we seeing more rubbish or overall, or is it static?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any data at this stage. That will come through over the next few months, but certainly anecdotally, I guess people are at home more, so they're going to be having more waste at home. I guess the flip side of that is that in your offices and the commercial spaces, there would hopefully be less waste because people are at home instead of in the office. So in that sense, it probably balances out to a reasonable amount. In a way, I guess if people are at home, hopefully it's easier for them to reuse and reduce their waste. But yeah, we'll need to wait till the data comes through to actually know that story.
Simon, if people wanted some more information around, the things that they can be doing at home or the work that your team does, is there a website or a link that they can go to?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website is wyndham.vic.gov.au, the normal council website, /recycle right, all one word. We've actually just about to start what we call Wyndham Waste Watches, which we're doing online this year. So that's actually starting tonight. And it's a 5-week program. So, if people want to know more about responsible waste management, that's the place to get the real first-hand knowledge. So sign up to that, and you'll be able to know the answers to everything you've ever wondered about waste management.
Simon, thank you for that. But we like to get to know our guests on a bit more of a personal level, and I'd learned just before we started this webcast that you were previously in James's role in the sport and recreation area. So tell us a little bit about your background, what you're doing in sport and rec, but how you became the waste and litter education officer.
Sure. Probably not your usual path, but I guess who does have a usual career path? I studied sports administration and business management at university and went on to work for a few different sports. I worked in tennis and lawn bowls and shooting, a real variety. I then moved to London and worked in disability sport for a few years before I came back here and worked in a program that was called Access for All Abilities. So again, supporting people with disabilities to get into sport. That's when I moved across into Wyndham Council's recreation team, and I was fortunate enough to, actually start in a planning role, but then moved across, a new role was created, which is the role that James is currently in. And, that's a fantastic role, being able to encourage and support people in the community to get active and to be healthy. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. But then I guess just from a personal note, I sort of started to get more environmentally conscious and environmentally aware, and learning more about the waste space. It's just something that was really important to me. So the great thing about working at a council is that you can learn more about these spaces and move across between departments. And I was fortunate enough to get that opportunity and move across into the waste strategy team. So just chasing my own personal interests. But I mean, it's both really important roles. So I feel really fortunate to have been able to do both of them.
It's brilliant. It's a great pathway, Simon. And I know a question without notice, because you're talking to me about 6 months ago, and your goal in the family was to go completely rubbishless.
Oh, wow.
So to go only recycling and reusing. How is that journey going to this point?
It's getting there. We've got 3 small kids, and the youngest one, we've just got him out of the nappies. So we were using disposable nappies. And so our waste has significantly gone down. We're probably averaging about 1 to 2 small garbage bags a week. So, I mean, to be honest, we don't put our rubbish bin out every week. It probably goes out every 2nd or 3rd week, just because we don't need to. But in summer, we'll probably do it weekly just so it doesn't smell. But yeah, I think for a family of 5, if we can have just 1 small rubbish bag a week, that's pretty good achievement. I'll still keep aiming for that 0 waste, and also need to tackle our recycling bin, because it's full every fortnight. So we need to look more at that reduce and reuse side of things. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we're going. I always get people calling up and saying, we've got a big family, our bin's overflowing, we need a second bin. I'm like, well, my family's pretty big too. I reckon I can work with you to get that rubbish down and avoid needing a second bin. So yeah, I'm happy with where we're at, but there's always room for improvement.
That's amazing, Simon. It really is, and congratulations on what you've achieved so far. That is really fantastic, and probably something for the rest of us to aspire to. Now, everyone listening to this webcast has got one question right now. You were the original person in James's role. Is he doing it well enough to your standards? How's he going? Like, is he performing okay?
No, great. James is doing a great job. He's I'm very, very conscious of not being someone who looks back in the past and says, oh, back in my day, I would have done a better job with that. No. Look, James is taken it on and he's made it his own, just like I would have hoped that he would do. And, all credit to him. He's doing a really good job. So I'm not even going there, Barry.
I wouldn't have asked the question if I didn't think otherwise. So.
We're professional backslappers, Barry. So, yes. But Simon, something that we love to do on every webcast and with all our guests is practice gratitude and keep that glass half full and positive approach in what are some challenging times. So keen to understand today what you're grateful for currently.
In life or in work? I mean, it's a pretty big question.
Oh, it could be both. We've had a guest share some amazing stories around what they are grateful for. But yeah, we've had the small and the large things, isn't that right, Barry? So it can be anything and everything, Simon.
Wow. Okay. Again, without notice, now I consider myself to be a very fortunate person. I'll keep it sort of related to what we've been talking about because there's so many things in life that I'm grateful for. But certainly, anyone living in Australia, you sort of see what's happening around the world at the moment, and we've all got a lot to be grateful for. But from a work perspective, sort of glass half full kind of stuff. I'm really positive about our waste management and people's approach to it. I think everyone wants to do the right thing, or certainly, the vast majority of people, and that's why I'm really excited to be in this role. And I sort of see myself as that medium position of helping people to achieve what they want to achieve. So, like I said, I've been really fortunate to have the roles at council that I've had. So I'm grateful for that, and I've got a fantastic team. Council's a great place to work. So I'm just a lucky person, I guess.
Oh, that's fantastic, Simon, and it certainly comes through that you love of this topic, but also of the role that you've got with council. And I agree. I many years ago worked for a council and moved between areas of council. It's one of the great things of working within local government. So well done, and yeah, it's great to hear. James, what are you grateful for today?
I'll take the community sport approach, and Simon, as I was saying, that there's varying degrees of what we're grateful for, and different scales. But based on the announcement on Sunday around community sport and the real switch that's been flicked now when it comes to providing a date for that contact training and competition. I'm really grateful for that, and all our clubs can now. I know they've been working hard in the background, but now have that date in sight, which they know. If competition is the way that they're continuing to progress to, then they have that to work towards now. So yeah, grateful for that announcement to allow our clubs to provide the opportunities for people to be active a bit more now and become and revert back to that what is a normal training and competitive environment outside of all the other wonderful things that they do. So yeah, grateful for that announcement, Barry. What about yourself? What are you grateful for?
Look, just quickly on yours, James. announced yesterday the VFL's back of the 1st of August. So our friends, and we've had I think about 3 or 4 people from Werribee Football Club on our webcast, Simon. So it's great that they'll be back playing on the 1st of August. I'm not sure whether there'll be crowds or not, but certainly I heard from Mark Penaluna, the CEO, this morning, and he's really excited. So yeah, that's great. I'm a little bit in the same vein as in the easing of restrictions that you are, James, and that I was thinking about this morning. What am I grateful for? And I realised that over the last week, I twice went out for a meal. One was in the evening, one was during the day. I was on the weekend, went over and visited my nephew and his partner. So it's just great to get out and, experience some different food, be with different people, talk, So just, you appreciate that a bit more. So it was a bit of reflecting, went, oh, wait a minute, I have done that, and I'm really grateful that we are able now to do that more so, and hopefully that'll ease as we go forward as well. So really grateful for that, James.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing both. And I think we're all excited for the continuing easing and all the great work that's going on in the community to allow that to happen. So hats off to everyone. But yes, it's only a matter of days now before Aquapulse and Eagle are opening, Barry. So I'm sure you're eagerly awaiting that, awaiting Monday.
Next Monday they open Aquapulse and Eagle. There is an absolute mountain of work being done behind the scenes. People will notice there's lots of changes to getting into the centre, booking sessions, etc. But we'll get more information out about that. But really excited about it for sure.
Brilliant.
Thank you,
Simon. Thank you for joining us today and providing that snapshot into waste and litter education within Wyndham and all the wonderful work that you're doing. And I think, as Barry and I, we're now inspired to reduce, reuse and recycle. So I'm sure everyone playing at home can relate to that. So thank you for giving up some time and joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Thanks, James. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Look after each other. Stay well, stay healthy, and most important, keep smiling. Bye for now.